Beautiful morning. The Community Foundation is proud to announce the awarding of nearly $300,000 in grants to 61 local organizations through a partnership with the New York State Council of the Arts. The foundation welcomed this unique opportunity to bring in more arts funding to our community through this partnership. Additionally, we took on the challenge to increase outreach to create more equitable access to state arts dollars because of the importance that arts and culture play in our lives and in our communities. This collaboration also provided the means to spread arts funds across the greater Rochester region to more organizations that want to offer arts experiences. What is unique about this grant program is that it was open to all nonprofits and not only those exclusively engaged in arts programming. For example, Isaiah House, which cares for people who are dying, will receive funding for a documentary about hospice care. Nativity Prep School will now be able to offer arts classes to students. Veterans Outreach Center will present an artistic outlet for residents who have served our country. The Puerto Rican Festival, an institution for the Latino community for more than 5 decades, obtained a state arts grant. We have to thank another grantee new to arts funding, the Swan Center. We are here at the Montgomery Center for opening its doors to us for today's announcement. The organization is experiencing a leadership transition, so we want to recognize outgoing Executive Director Tiffany Owens, who applied for the grant, and greatly appreciate the assistance offered by Swan's new director, Cassandra Smalls, in preparing for today. Thank you all. And just as a side note, I want to let everyone know that several of our grantees are here with us today. We thank you all for being here, and we applaud you for your work. I'll turn over to Cassandra.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. Swan is greatly appreciated that we are doing the grant and got the arts here. We love art. If you come inside of our building and walk through, there's tons of art, local artists. We're welcoming more artists. We have a summer youth program here with Gretchen that we partner with, Gretchen Anthony. She has some great artists that are here that are doing great things with the kids as well. So I welcome everyone to come in, to come into our center and just take a view of what's going on. I'm also trying to do a little bit more with the center as well, doing vocational things, to try to get more people in, to get them out, to get them into the workforce. So that's where Swan is going. So thank you for showing up today. Appreciate it.
Good morning. My name is Monica Engel. I'm a council member with New York State Council for the Arts. I'm delighted to be here to represent for Executive Director Mara Manis and Chair Catherine Nichols, the NISCA staff, and council members. And I just want to share that our collective congratulations to the 61 nonprofits and community organizations who are receiving funding through the NISCA, Rochester Area Community Foundation Partnership. It's one of several new partnerships that were awarded grants in 2022, and these last 2 years of unimaginable challenges have amplified the urgency for the arts to be present and accessible in every community. This year, Governor Hochul and the New York State Legislature have invested $140 million for the New York State Council for the Arts. And investing in arts and culture organization drives the health of individuals, it strengthens our economy, amplifies diverse voices and stories of our state, as well as supporting our collective recovery from COVID-19. We extend our gratitude to the Rochester Area Community Foundation for their stewardship of this re-grant opportunity. It's creating greater access for NISCA dollars and supporting the full breadth of organizations and artists in every corner of New York State. Once again, congratulations to this year's recipients, and we can't wait to see what takes flight in Rochester. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning. I'm Senator Jeremy Coe, and I'm just so delighted to be here at the Montgomery Center. Thank you, Cassandra, for your leadership and for having us at this fantastic neighborhood gem. I also want to thank my friends at the Rochester Area Community Foundation, both Simeon and Annette, for their great leadership, as well as our partnership with the New York State Council of the Arts. NYSCA does incredible work, not just here in the greater Rochester community, but all across upstate New York and downstate. And we would not be able to have the thriving arts community that we would have in New York State without their leadership. So this is really about folks coming together. But I just wanted to add an additional comment on behalf of my colleagues in the state legislature. I have the great privilege of serving and being one of the very few, unfortunately, but one of the very few upstate representatives on the New York State Senate's Cultural Affairs Committee. So we see a lot of these applications and meet with a lot of folks from across upstate New York, here, certainly here in Rochester, but across cities like Buffalo and Syracuse and Albany and all the way up the Northway to Plattsburgh and down the Southern Tier and Binghamton. And they say, hey, investing in the arts is not just something nice to do, it's about our quality of life as New Yorkers. And investing in arts is about workforce development. And investing in arts is about education for our young people. And investing in arts is about our cultural heritage. And investing in arts is about community safety. So when you look at the arts, we have to move away from this thinking that arts is just something nice and some icing on a cake. Arts is fundamental to who we are as New Yorkers, who we are as Rochesterians. And we're going to continue to invest real dollars in making sure that artists all across New York State have the same opportunities. And I'll just add that I had an opportunity to be at the Eastman Theater a few months ago now, when it was still winter, when we were still in the budget negotiation process. And we said we need to have dedicated arts dollars for artists outside of New York City. And that is so important. I love visiting galleries and seeing shows down in New York City, maybe some of you too. But I love supporting the artists who live in my own community, in my own hometown. And we need to do more of that across upstate New York. So we're going to do our part in the New York State Legislature to continue to invest in the New York State Council of the Arts and have wonderful community collaborations with our partners in government, our partners in the nonprofit sector, and our very, very fortunate partner, the Rochester Area Community Foundation. Thank you so much for having me.
Good morning. My name is Patrick Cunningham. I'm the Deputy Mayor of the City of Rochester, and I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the Mayor, Malik Evans. I always enjoy speaking for the Mayor, but I especially enjoy speaking on occasions like this because I love the arts. My late wife, Joelle Malio Cunningham, was an artist. She painted, she did sculpture, she made jewelry. We went to the Park Avenue Festival, the Cornhill Festival, the Clothesline Festival, at a time when we could hardly afford we were living paycheck to paycheck, and the money that we got from doing those shows made a difference in our lives, especially when our kids were this high. I have two girls. I remember driving the station wagon loaded with all her stuff to the festival, setting it up by 10 o'clock. She would come with the two kids. I'd babysit the kids all day. Then I'd come back, she'd take the kids home, and I'd put the tent to bed for the night. So arts have been a very important part of my life, and I think this is a wonderful, wonderful thing that's happening in our art community. Mayor Malik Evans also believes in art. We have a capital budget that puts significant amount of money towards public art, mostly sculptures and murals. So I want to thank the Rochester Area Community Foundation and the New York State Council for the Arts for this generous work that they're doing on behalf of our artist community. And remember, a long time ago, there was a 24-year-old who invented a new form of art called photography, and that changed the world. So hopefully we'll have another George Eastman to come through Rochester in the near future. Thank you very much.
Hi again. I neglected to add that this grant opportunity also offered a unique opportunity for the foundation to do more participatory grant making. So this process included an advisory committee that reviewed all the grant proposals. Two of those members are here. I want to thank them for their work, and they'll make a few remarks. Elizabeth Long from Finger Lakes Opera and Mimi Lee. Thank you both for being here today and for your help with this process.
Well, thank you so much. I'm Elizabeth from Finger Lakes Opera. Mimi will say a few things after me, but I think when Annette, that's what happens when you're short. When Annette called and asked, will you serve on this panel, I was honored. As someone who works at a smaller arts organization, I know how hard it can be to get your foot in the funder's door. And the fact that the Community Foundation sought and secured these funds from the New York State Council on the Arts to use as a re-grant process shows the Community Foundation's commitment to this community, the investment that they're willing to make, and especially in the health and the thrivability, new word, thrivability of the arts in Rochester. Mimi?
Thank you, Elizabeth. Hi, my name is Mimi Lee. I'm the president of the Asian Pacific Islander American Association. We are a nonprofit dedicated to sharing our cultural heritage, and we are so pleased and honored to be part of this program. As an artist myself, I'm a photographer and I do crafts. It is just a privilege to review all these wonderful projects. So again, congratulations to all the recipients, and we look forward to your fantastic projects that will really rise up our community in looking at art in a different lens, because it is through art that we can express our emotions and our feelings, and it's just a universal language. Just as music is universal, art is also universal. Again, congratulations to all. Thank you.
And so I'm supposed to bring this to a close. My name is Simeon Bannister. I'm the Executive Vice President at Rochester Area Community Foundation. Well, we are so grateful for this partnership for the public good. What we see here is the coming together of philanthropy and our municipal partners and New York State government so that we can provide resources for an area that, as you've heard today, is an absolutely critical one. I certainly want to extend our gratitude and our thanks to Senator Cooney, to our Deputy Mayor, Patrick Cunningham, and to the committee that worked so hard to bring all of these grants together. $300,000 for Rochester. One of the things I really appreciate about NISCA, and I was taking a little inspiration from this wonderful garden to which Swan tends, is that for those of you that are the initiated, if you know anything about gardening, about farming, if you keep tapping the same land over and over and over again with the same crops, unfortunately you can tap the land out. They call it crop rotation, is really needed to bring in new crops, new entities, so that we continue to refresh and revitalize the landscape. This grant opportunity was our chance to refresh and revitalize the arts landscape here in Rochester, dropping new seeds with new organizations that had not been previous recipients of NISCA dollars, so that they could engage in the artistic work that we know is so critical. Why is that work so critical? It's like Paul Cézanne said, the great and famous painter, life is art, and art is life. And we have made an investment in the life of this community working with our partners. The last thing I would say, and I would be totally remiss if I didn't recognize my colleagues, Annette Jimenez-Gleason, who's our senior program officer for Vitality, who did a lot of the heavy lifting, our team from community programs, raise your hands, our teams from our marketing communications group, raise your hands. We're so grateful. As they say, teamwork makes the dream work, and we really are working together to bring it to fruition. We have the privilege to end today's press event. You don't usually get this at press events, so I hope you feel especially honored here, to hear from the mighty liberators who are down the block, as Annette is pointing me. So when we walk down the block and enjoy the mighty liberators, and thank you for coming out today.